Alright. Hello everyone. My name is Aayush Chavla and alongside I have today,
Paarug 80.
I
don't
As
know
always,
why you do this.
as always. And today we bring you a brand new episode from Slippery Slopes podcast. And the topic for today is very exciting.
Very exciting. War. Very
War.
exciting.
Yeah. Excites the young in us
Of course,
a lot. And war is something that needs to be stopped, alright. But to understand the art of war and to why nations fight is what our episodes revolves around today.
We have to read Sun Tzu.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But first of all, I'd like to point out, since we've had like a very mellow start to this decade, like nothing really major happened.
Nothing.
No event only happened. It's
Yeah.
been such a calm ride, 2020s.
Exactly.
Kuch ho hi nahi raha. Everything is normal as fuck. Nothing wrong. Nothing.
I mean,
I kind of like the idea of a war.
Digit 2 has been very hard on us. I mean, 1919 was good, but since 2 came
What
into
the fuck is next?
since 2s came into the picture, we have a problem now. Now we have 3 2s in
Yeah.
the picture. So it's 2022.
Remember when Australia had a forest wildfire
Fucking
at the
crazy.
start of 2020 and we were
Fucking
like,
crazy.
बहुत crazy हो गया.
Shit. It was so crazy. Like millions of animals
We were like,
died.
बहुत crazy हो गया ये.
Bro, yeah.
And now we are like, war हो रही है.
Yeah. We had a pandemic.
War ही तो हो रही है.
Yeah. We also had a World War III when we were talking Israel and Hamas, the firing that was taking place.
I forget these events. अभी इतने सारे हो गए हैं कि I'm like, oh हाँ, there was a riot happening in Israel Palestine. Wow.
Israel Palestine. Yeah,
I
the
forgot
Hamas
about
firing.
it completely.
Yeah. So it's even then we were thinking, let's get drafted for next World War. All right, who is doing it for the country? We just want to be the next, protagonist in Call of Duty. This was Captain Paarug.
Next
signing
Akshay
off.
Kumar movie based on us.
Netflix waiting for us. To do
Tanmay
a
Bhatt
biography.
reacts to
This podcast.
Akshay Kumar's adaptation of Us.
Us. Gonna be fucking legend, bro. So since we know that the recent times are very testing on us, and we have seen
On
war
us?
on us always, on all of us, like no matter the part of the world you
Yeah.
are in, times are tough.
First of all, we have offline exams,
Fucking
which
hell.
is I don't know what's worse.
Another
I don't
war,
know what's
another
worse.
war.
It's up for debate.
But Duta is still having a strike, right? To have OBE.
Yeah, they have been at a world war since before
since
World War II. They were striking for higher salaries. No one is listening to them only.
The voice of voiceless. Duta.
If there is something less functional than the United Nations, it's DUTA. Delhi University Teachers Association.
Oh my god. Respect to the teachers, but I mean,
They have been at protests since before World War, before Hitler, before the Third Reich.
Exactly. So now let's come back to the topic, the world that is watching us right now. So all we know about and we're going to discuss upon today is war. And start off, we have Russia and Ukraine in the heat at the moment. And the war is now currently in its, I believe, 18th day or 19th day.
Yeah.
And it is very tough. At the moment of this recording, we are at the 19th day.
They are at war, yeah.
They are still at war and they are taking control of Ukraine every day, but Ukraine is retaliating a lot. If you could shed some light, Paarug, why Russia is doing
apparently, Vladimir Putin did fire some of his personnel because he got very bad intel. He thought this would be like a 2-day affair.
Yeah.
And he'll just take over Kyiv and get done with it. और फिर वो अपना क्या horse riding करेगा अपना castle पे वापस. But apparently no, Ukraine had other thoughts.
Yeah,
Mr. Vladimir Zelensky and his actually very corrupt government.
Ukraine is a pretty corrupt government.
Ukraine is a very corrupt government, but they I don't know, rose to the occasion and fucking farmers blasting tanks, Russian
Stealing
tanks. Yeah.
Stealing tanks.
Yeah.
So there is a 1 million euro bounty on tanks. So if you find a tank and you capture it, so the Ukraine government will pay you 1 million
Yeah.
euros. I mean,
You know, GTA 6 is in production.
yeah, Rockstars, we have a new storyline
If
right there.
GTA Ukraine, GTA Kyiv City. I like the idea.
GTA Kharkiv, GTA Moscow.
Yeah, I like the idea. I don't mind. But yeah, so apparently there's this really good video from a channel called Real Life Door, which is like a 30-minute video named Why Russia is Invading Ukraine,
Yeah.
which gives kind of a very, not like a Vox liberal view, but a
Yeah,
very
generic.
generic central view of
I watched that
why,
video.
what the purpose behind Russia is, because he might be a tyrant, but he's not an idiot.
Yeah, he's not an
Putin.
idiot.
He's very intelligent.
He's
So
thinking very
he's-
far off,
yeah.
to be precise in this
Yeah, he
moment.
might be lonely and he might be the crazy guy here, but he's definitely not the dumb guy here.
Yeah.
So apparently Ukraine has, so the way Russian geography on its west, right? No, west. On its west is made
West.
is there's a small kind of a window of plain land from which, I don't know, attackers can come.
Yeah, yeah.
So the NATO's since 1990 has been expanding east. So they've got Latvia, I guess they've got Lithuania, all the Eastern
Yeah.
European countries, which they said they wouldn't to Russia,
yeah.
but they still have. And the only friendly neighbor Russia has is Belarus,
yeah.
which is right at the door of East Russia,
East Russia,
which is
yeah.
plain and not, there's no
Hmm.
hills there.
Mm.
And the other part is Ukraine.
Yeah.
So if Ukraine joins NATO,
Mm.
it's literally Europe and North America and Canada knocking at the door.
Yeah.
So Russia obviously doesn't want that. Belarus is pro-Russian.
Yeah, that's
Belarus
because
is East Russia or
They
West
had
Russia.
USSR
Yeah.
previous back in the day.
Yeah. So Belarus is on their side. But they don't want Ukraine, first of all, because of NATO reason.
Yeah. NATO is a big reason
Yeah.
in this war.
And I think the second big reason is energy. So apparently Ukraine recently just found out after the, I guess, or they found out before that, but yeah, there was of course that 2014 coup that happened, in which Ukraine's president got
Taken down.
taken out from the office,
Yeah.
and then the new government came in,
Zelensky
and
came
that
into power.
president was pro-Russia.
Yeah,
So
he was
what
pro.
happened was that Ukraine apparently found out that they have energy resources as well,
Yeah.
and they can supply.
Nuclear had Ukraine had a lot of nuclear weapons, but they
Yeah.
all gave up.
Yeah.
They gave up all
So
those.
apparently right now Europe is mostly dependent on Russia for its energy resources.
Yeah.
Ukraine found out that they have it too.
Yeah.
And
Nice,
if
yes.
Ukraine comes to developing them, Russia's GDP will go like Pakistan GDP, basically. So, like Bitcoin. So,
Currently.
so obviously Russia doesn't want that.
Yeah.
They didn't use it till 2014 because the president was pro-Russia. So
Yeah.
he never actually used the resources they had.
Yeah.
So Ukraine was never a threat because the president was bye-bye. Now new president comes in. Now obviously that guy would want to use the resources they have and
Yeah.
would want to become a big player in energy. Why wouldn't you? So then Russia has a problem. That is why they annexed Crimea, which was like unka Kashmir.
Yeah.
And apparently Crimea ke shore pe Ukraine ke most energy resources the in the sea.
Yeah, in the sea. Yeah.
So
in the bed. In
Yeah.
The bed,
So
bed
when
land,
they
yeah.
annexed Crimea, they basically handicapped Ukraine's resources. Which is why it was so important for Russia to get Crimea.
Yeah.
They were not like just SAE. They had a very, very big reason ke if
Yeah.
Ukraine actually uses these resources, Russia's GDP will go down.
Yeah.
So you could make a case for Russia,
So
that why would you want Pakistan to have like Saudi Arabia resources?
No fucking way. Even if they had, they could have done nothing.
Yeah, if Pakistan found like oil resources in
Or
Kashmir,
plutonium, yeah.
what would you as a country want to do?
We'd fuck them.
You would want
them
to
in like
get
5
that,
days.
right? So yeah, that is probably the only reason why Russia was after Crimea. And
Yeah.
after that, Ukraine has been
Yeah.
like the NATO and energy and a couple of reasons more.
So with that, when Crimea issue came into place, when we understand war in its very general sense, so I believe there are no permanent allies and there are no permanent foes or enemies, but there is a permanent goal. You know, with time your allies might change, your enemies might change, but you have a permanent goal. And for countries, I believe the goal might be different. For India, they have very economic foreign policies at the moment.
Yeah.
But when we look at Russia, they have like very power oriented foreign policies. That Russia might have this goal of world domination, but when compared to other countries, so they might
Yeah.
have different.
Putin legit wants to have the USSR back again.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean that's
That's
his
one of
power.
His goals.
Yeah,
to
with in
achieve,
his
like-
regime, he would.
Like
he
you
would
have travel once a year.
No, no.
He has bring back USSR as his bucket list.
You know why Mars is red? Now we know.
Our Mars.
USSR was there already. For those who don't know, we have USSR flag right here. So with war coming into place, but still, okay. So let's put it this way. So Russia and Ukraine were, let's just say, before the discovery of energy resources, they were good friends. Like India and Pakistan still are. Like they have friendly agreements on paper, but they have strategic foreign policies against each other. So if we talk about, let's just say, there are things that are still imported from Pakistan and are still exported to Pakistan. May it be spices, may it be pashmina, may it be shawls or whatever specialty cloth.
Yeah.
Right. So that's on paper, right? Despite some troubles that were seeking or that were trembling in Europe, Ukraine, out of all 197 countries, thought of calling India in between.
What? Really? What?
Yeah. Ukraine literally asked for help,
Yeah.
right? So from our current government, they specifically mentioned not India but Modi government. We need help from
Also,
Modi government.
One thing. Yeah, you can go on. Then I'll make.
They
my point
also
about
cited Mahabharat. So that's yeah.
When
They
did
cited
this happen?
in one of their tweets. They cited Mahabharat with the reference to Karan. That Karan was a great friend in Mahabharat.
Yeah,
You have
I've
read it,
in
right?
my
Yeah,
I've
so
read
I've seen it.
Mahabharata. It's
So Karan.
mythologically educated.
Yeah. so with that reference, they seeked India's help, and now when India came into talks between, so India has no alignment as of now. So they are not proper sides because they are also abstaining from voting.
Yeah.
Right. But abstainment is a big, bold statement as well.
Yeah.
That we do not have any alignment to this issue. So why do you is there a light upon why India is becoming the next big thing?
I actually don't mind it. I vibe. Listen, we are not part of the NATO. First of all.
Not
So
the
we
EU,
didn't
not
make
even the
any
EU.
fucking promises.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is like, and the biggest problem I have is the United States of America, the press secretary
Yeah.
was telling India that they have to decide on what part of history would they want to be.
Would they want to be?
Okay.
Yeah.
White House.
You're gonna joke yourself.
You will tell us about who should be on the right side of history. Great.
Right.
Great. Afghanistan 20 years. Very right side of
Very-
history, right?
Very right. side.
So right you left.
Iran.
Yeah.
Iran was so
Iran.
good. I ran.
The audacity to say something like that. And also this big deal about India taking discount oil from Russia at a discounted
Discount
rate.
of 28%, I believe.
Why
28.
wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you? I mean,
Why wouldn't
so
you?
there are
To
sanctions.
be really honest, I feel bad for people stuck in Ukraine. But I
Yeah.
really feel bad paying 100 rupees per liter for petrol also.
Exactly.
So-
provided our cars don't give enough mileage.
Yeah. But
yeah.
yeah, go on.
So even keeping in mind that United States have these sanctions on Russia that nobody would buy oil from them.
Yeah.
The White House says that.
Yeah.
But Indian oil company is still, on the verge of buying. At this very moment, at this recording of this episode, they're still on the verge of buying it. So I believe there is nothing wrong. And if India buys it, I believe it gives a new statement to the world that India is not following, Nehru idealism strategy, or they're not following any non-alignment strategy. They know their way.
I mean, listen, it is a humanitarian crisis, the Ukraine thing right now.
Every war is.
It is. All right. And India, it's not like they didn't get Indian students back from there. Or they tried, right? Air India's flights were flying in and out.
Not just Indians. They also got Nepalis, Bangladesh, Sri Lankans.
Yeah, so like...
And Pakistanis.
India.
Yeah, India got it all.
Yeah. So, that's India to the Western white guy. Just so you know. So, they did. But India has had this relationship with Russia for years now. And even during the Cold War, India was at the disalignment movement. And they didn't part ways with any one of the two, right?
Yeah.
So, the thing is that people judge other countries' decisions through a moralistic lens.
Yeah.
But when those countries who are like, US is like, oh, fuck Russia. Fuck Russia. बहुत बुरा किया भाई. ऐसे नहीं करना चाहिए था. You should have done it like we did in Iraq. You know?
Peace talks.
Very hypocritical.
Yeah,
because it fits their agenda. And then they have the audacity to give us a history lesson. And it's not like, I'm not like doing the कि हम इंडिया है हमारी मर्जी हम नहीं करेंगे. They should actually, I don't know, support Ukraine in some way. But if you say don't take oil from Russia if they're giving it for cheap, fuck off.
Fuck off. I mean, nobody would listen to that.
Why would you? If the US had this offer, they would do it.
They would have.
If Ukraine has this offer, they would do it. It's not a perfect world, and this is kind of a lesson that we should take, that this is how the world kind of works.
There are no permanent allies, but permanent goals. Yeah,
exactly. You have to look out for yourself, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm not like a politician or politic expert.
Politic. He's not a politic.
I'm monodic.
Monodic.
But also, there's a former CIA director, Mike Baker. He came on the Rogan podcast and he was talking about this. He spoke about India as well.
Yeah.
Interestingly, he spoke about the US first. So while US is kind of painting a picture of a war crime done by Russia, which they are doing, and kind of being against it, Joe Biden is like,
Joe Biden is half bad.
Joe Biden is like, Putin is invading Russia.
Yeah. I mean, I was watching El Clasico that day. They had this poster, stop invasion. I mean, what the fuck? That's not...
No, did you listen to Joe Biden saying why we have, in 2022, we have Putin invading Russia?
No.
He said Putin is invading Russia.
That's fucking crazy.
What the fuck? All right.
Putin is invading Russia.
Putin is invading Russia.
So Putin wins there. He's going back to his land.
Yeah, he invaded 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So the point is, the interesting part here is that even though US is saying that Russia is a war criminal and stuff, in Iraq, which the Biden government wants control of back again, because Trump was like, fuck you. And they want that diplomatic relation back again with Iraq and then eventually with Iran, which they had during the Obama administration, which got depleted severely during the Trump administration. So they want that back. So they are having diplomatic talks with Iraq and want that position again. Guess who they are using to get in good terms with Iraq?
No clue, but
Russia.
Wow.
This is Mike Baker, who's like a CIA director, former CIA director. So the state they're calling a war criminal on one front.
Yeah.
They're using them as a ally, kind of a ally or like a middleman.
Yeah.
To get in good terms with Iraq. So this is kind of how the world is working.
Fucking crazy.
So when you say India shouldn't take oil at a cheap price, and you tell us about how we should be on the right side of history.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. I mean, let's look at it one way, that if America wasn't there on the map, I think we would have all lived very peacefully. Or some another America would have grown into power. So America is that country that sells you weapon, but then also says stop war.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean,
Yemen is really bad. Here's a drone strike.
yeah,
To help the situation.
Yemen bad. Throw drone.
War is bad.
War
Let's
is-
end the country.
So when we talk about India, and there is a lot to when we go about foreign strategies, I believe they can be divided into three parts. I think since independence, when we had Jawaharlal Nehru on the seat, so India was again Nehru idealism approach. So India.
What
thought-
do you mean when you say Nehru idealism?
So Nehru idealism approach is that what Jawaharlal Nehru, had an approach with. It is ideal approach, right? So he believed, and at that particular point of time, let's just say India believed that there is a talk solution to everything, and the
Yeah.
world lives peacefully. So this happened when India was in talks with China when we got recently independent, newly independent. So India was in terms with China, alright, in good terms, let's just say on paper. But China invaded Taiwan in those days.
yeah.
India still saw good out of it. We'd say they were forcing their military pressure to Hong Kong, China back in those days. So, but India still saw good into them. When we had this Nara, Hindu Chini Bhai Bhai, right? So we had a very idealistic approach, but then they backstabbed us with Arunachal issue, right? They are still then Peeth pe Mara, then they had this very slogan going on. So Nehru, when India got independent, they clearly had two offers, right? Either to be with, Russia or to be with America, and to have no alignment with any of the one. India said we'll be a mutual partner to both.
Yeah.
So ideal again.
Disalignment.
No alignment at all.
Yeah.
Disalignment. So again, this is the Nehru idealism approach. But when we moved forward and when we had Lal Bahadur Shastri on chair as Prime Minister, I believe he was the first Prime Minister who criticized America when they had Indo-China war. When they had the war in Vietnam. Hua Hin. In Hua Hin. We studied about it.
Yeah.
So he was the first person to criticize it, the war.
yeah.
To criticize America. That was strategic approach.
Right
and-
side of history.
Right side of history again. And another very brilliant strategic approach that India took was when we had partition with Pakistan in 47. So, right. So East Pakistan was a thing and West Pakistan was a thing.
And
at
then
the time.
71
Yeah.
happened.
No, not 71. So when these two Pakistans were a thing, East Pakistan and West Pakistan, so India thought, let's just go fuck Nehru idealism. We do not want that. Because if today we had two Pakistans at two borders, we had three fights. One on Jammu and Kashmir side, northern India. One
Yeah.
on the Bangladesh side, that is today Bangladesh, but at that very point it was East Pakistan, and one with China. So we had three enemies. So what India did was very strategically important. They liberated Bangladesh.
It's called West Bengal now.
Yeah. It's West Bengal. So, with keeping that in mind, so that was a very strategically good move.
Yeah.
I mean, if
This is
we
a
had
joke.
another,
This is a joke.
yeah,
I don't.
They're burning
these,
villages,
These
though.
are. The most scared of Bengalis who might get offended.
yeah.
This is a joke.
This is a joke. We do not.
I
want
can joke about UP all day, not West Bengal. Very scared.
keyboard warriors. So that was a strategical foreign policy. So India another said with Sri Lanka that let's fuck Nehru idealism again, and let's go to Sri Lanka and send our force there, peacekeeping force. So this was a clever move. Once you say that I'm sending my army for drills, that's one way to market it. But another way to market it is that we are sending peacekeeping force. So you do not say army to them, right? And you change their uniform a bit with light blue caps, it's a peacekeeping force after all. Why India did that? To never allow China to use Sri Lanka as a strategic base for
Yeah.
India, against India.
Yeah.
So that's how I believe Nehru idealism ended, and India took a thing for its own stand.
Is Nehru idealism a real term, or are you making this up?
I believe a lot of historians or strategy formulations call it Nehru idealism. They call because, Nehru, let's come to Congress, so they were left. Always left. So they were always liberal. They also brought a very good thing.
This
that
is
was
great.
LPG.
Yeah.
Liberalization, privatization, globalization.
Globalization.
Without it, I believe in 1991, without it, we would have been a very poor country by now.
We got companies and Sachin Tendulkar in the 1990s. This is both great additions to the country.
So, I mean, that's a good step. But again, we need to be strategically very precise with our approach. Yeah. And now, I believe in today's world, India has not a strategical approach, but a subset to it, economic approach. Now, if you see, we go for Make in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-sustained India. Right. So now, today at this very morning, I also got this news that we had crossed the mark of, I believe, $300 billion worth of export, which is highest ever in the history of India. So I believe Make in India is working. The current government is making it happen.
More than that, India's stack is working.
Yeah,
you have UPI, you have...
Exactly.
We have spoken at length about this, it's worth mentioning.
So, I mean, these are, strategic policy. One, I bring it down to three things. Ideal policy. That is, you think it is ideal to talk and keep peace. No army, no thief. Every good, you good, I good, monkey good together. Then there is...
Board Ape Yacht Club.
Then there is strategic policy. Yeah. You do not think about idealism. You want tactical advantage. That's power. Yeah. And then third is economic-centric policies. You want money. I believe economic-centric is the best option out of all three. Because with money, you get power. With power, you win strategically. So, but let's just say Gulf countries have a lot of money, but they do not have a lot of, I'd say power. In a lot of world sayings or in world forums, they're not as loud or...
They want it.
They want it really bad.
They wouldn't get it if they... I think there's... They have a religious reason holding them back. Yeah. You go to UAE. I went to Dubai recently. Yeah. They've literally gone the opposite way to what kind of the norm is in that part of the world.
Yeah.
So beaches are open. Everything is open. People are smoking cigarettes. It's like a
liquor is
Eastern
available.
Las Vegas. No, liquor is not available.
Liquor is not available?
No. Oh. In certain
hotels, restaurants,
certified bars and pubs and clubs, but not like theke nahi khule hue. So that's not allowed. It's like an Eastern Las Vegas, really. Dubai.
Crazy, man. I've always seen Dubai.
But they want
videos.
Yeah. So, but that goes against. If you go to Sharjah, which is that would not be the case.
I've been to Sharjah and Abu Dhabi, but never been to Dubai.
Yeah, so you missed on the only good thing there is.
It was a layover and the flight got cancelled. So
yeah, so you fucked up there. But what I'm saying is, you have to cater to the norms of what the West and the rest of the world believes in and give them that so they come. I mean, there are foreigners living now in Dubai, right? But there is hardly any foreigners living in Sharjah.
Yeah.
There's Indians living in Sharjah, I'm guessing.
Inka passport le liya gaya humse.
Oh, that's Nepali.
Oh shit, man.
Yeah. So they don't live, they don't sleep. So I wouldn't call it living. It's
dark.
It's mere existence. So they have that holding them back, which is why you see Saudi Arabia having the Saudi Expo all of a sudden, right?
Yeah.
Why are they doing it? Because they realize that oil will run out
eventually.
And what happens then? They'll get charged for human crimes against humanity again, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean MBS would be charged.
The day US is not dependent on the Saudi Arabian
nations,
Emiratis.
Yeah.
What does the US do? Fucking arrests them. Raids their houses. That's what it'll do, right?
Yeah.
They won't be like, oh, you've been a friend of us for so long. Come to my house. Visit my kids.
Yeah.
They'll be like,
Fuck
All right,
off.
there's no two-way relationship here now.
Exactly.
So where is Jamal Khashoggi?
yeah.
We want some answers. Right?
Mohammed bin Salman.
Yeah. Why do you think he got away with it? There's no repercussion at all.
Exactly. I mean, Jamal Khashoggi, the episode overall got vanished. Like,
Yeah.
there's no talk
So-
about it anymore.
So yeah, that is why they're doing it. But yeah, the Middle East is kind of stuck there. But coming back to Russia, the interesting part was they were asking for China for military help.
Yeah.
It's just even crazier.
That's so
Wow.
crazy. I
Wow. The
mean, Chinese people, I mean, why? Why would you have something that's made in China? I mean, even in war zones, I mean, you do not trust your kids with toys made in China.
This is again a reminder to the US. I hope they take a message which they're clearly not taking, that Russia is really not the enemy anymore.
Exactly.
China is. And
They're not getting it.
they're not getting it at all. China is the big player now. And Russia, even though it's a great power, they're a great nuclear power. They could blow up the earth 10 times over.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter.
10 times over.
So,
Who's
it
gonna press the button second time?
Albert Einstein had this quote, right? I don't know how World War III will take place, but World War IV will take place with sticks and stones. Because humanity will destroy themselves.
Fucking legend.
Yeah, no wonder he had crazy hair.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but the US needs to realize that China is the big player here. If China's not there, probably Russia doesn't get the power. North Korea goes away. India, we get Tibet back.
I just thought when all of this Russia-Ukraine episode is still in the limelight, I thought from the back door, I just had this thought that Japan and South Korea would ally together and capture North Korea, liberate North Korea.
There's no way that's happening. China has their back, right?
That's fucking crazy. Again, China is the enemy.
Yeah, exactly. You can't really invade North Korea if China will be after your back after that.
Yeah.
But there's no chance. I mean, Japan has been notoriously famous to keep enemies at bay.
Yeah.
But I don't think they can do it now.
No, I
China is a
believe
little too...
China is little too powerful,
powerful.
but Japan has no foot army. So that's one thing, because they're surrounded by water, right?
Yeah.
So
But
where will their army go?
this Russia-Ukraine war is horrible. Imagine you're a Taiwanese right now. You're literally watching a trailer of what is about to happen to you.
Or if you're living in any part of Hong Kong,
Yeah.
you're gonna see.
If you're in Hong Kong, it is definitely what's
Gonna-
going to happen to you sooner or later.
It's gonna
Taiwan
happen.
is still a country, and as long as they defend themselves, Hong Kong is destined to be not be a country in like a few decades.
Yeah. I mean,
So, yeah.
Hong Kong will be soon taken over by China, and Hong Kong can delay the war, but they cannot fully resent it or fully put a full stop to it. So that's tough for any
Yeah.
country that size to compete with a country that's maybe 20 times bigger their size, and plus they have a lot of land issue.
Yeah.
So it's crazy if you talk about Hong Kong.
Yeah, so I don't know how this goes, but I don't think Russia will be able to take full control of Ukraine, because apparently Ukraine is huge. It's a very big...
Ukraine is
Country.
huge, but to take control, I believe you just need to destroy the capital.
No, but like the capital and Kharkiv are like the north, and there's a line across Ukraine that you can draw,
Yeah.
which is like the northeast and the southwest, in between those two regions. So I was watching a video by Johnny Harris. So he was basically saying that the worst that could happen is maybe Russia takes over the northeastern part of Ukraine, and the rest of the crowd goes to the southern western part, because apparently this war and this move by Putin was not met well back in Russia also.
Yeah.
Even though the Russian news channels were like, obviously,
Pro-Putin.
yeah, if you want to know about your country, watch a foreign news channel.
Yeah.
So
I watched Al Jazeera. I watched
Yeah.
BBC. I watched CNN for this war, but it was pointless.
yeah,
I mean,
BBC.
Al Jazeera had no coverage, being
Yeah.
honest. BBC and CNN, they both were favoring the whites.
It's in the name, BBC.
It's not in the name. The name is something different.
Yeah, but so that's, I don't know, the likely scenario, but yeah, so I don't. So apparently, the point I was making was that it's not met well back in Russia as well. So because apparently there's a lot of families which live in both Ukraine and Russia, and there's a lot of interconnected culture there.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know what's the example. What are two sister countries very friendly to each other?
Hong Kong and China.
No, I don't think that's
They're not
a
friendly,
one-sided
but that's a cat
relationship,
fight.
brother.
I believe
That's a toxic relationship.
Scandinavia might have some examples.
Yeah, so like Swedish
Sweden and Denmark.
Norwegian people are basically the same.
Yeah.
And where we can't recognize between the two. So
Yeah.
imagine Norway attacks Sweden, and Norwegians have family in Sweden as well. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Kind of that situation. So it's not met well back in Russia also. So he lacks that support. Plus, Putin is losing his army generals as well, because they're making fucked up decisions.
A lot of them.
And he's getting them alone. So really the only person who knows what's happening is Vladimir Putin. What's in his mind, he only knows.
Exactly. And I think we had a very big challenger to Putin as well. Amidst of the war comes Iron Man to challenge Putin on a one-on-one fight.
Oh, Mr. Musk.
Mr. Musk, as
Mr.
always,
Musk is like,
never
I'll
fails
take
to
him in an
disappoint.
MMA match.
Never fails to disappoint. Mr. Musk, always there.
Mr. Musk is like, first of all, he provided Starlink to Ukraine.
Yeah, like
Boss move.
24
I'm a fan.
Is it 24 to 48 hours?
Yeah. Call me a stan. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. He gave Ukraine Starlink internet within 48 hours.
Yeah.
Absolutely legendary. All right. First that. Second, he was being asked to ban Russian news sources on Starlink.
Yeah.
And he said, fuck not. I will not do that. I'm a free speech absolutist.
Yeah.
So you gotta watch everything. You choose what you want to watch. I'm not banning anything.
Yeah.
Legendary number 2. And then he's like, I'll want a single combat with Vladimir Putin, who's a judo black belt, by the way.
Yeah. He was striped from his...
उसका black belt status हटा देंगे, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है वो judo भूल गया.
Yeah.
वो throw करेगा Elon Musk को.
Also, Elon Musk was asked by a lot of netizens that Teslas that are working in Russia at the moment, they should not have any connectivity, with the internal system. They might have also, a specific AI that works in Tesla, right? Like we have Siri in our mobile phones.
Mm-hmm.
So he was asked to stop those cars running in Russia, but he said those are my purchase, those are my consumers who have paid a full up amount, and it is bullshit that I do that.
Yeah.
So I mean, netizens might ask anything or everything, day in or day out, but again, Mr. Musk, you got balls. Like Slippery Slopes approves of your balls.
We give you the
honor of
very
balls.
good comrade.
Very good comrade.
Yeah. Another thing I'd like to point out before we go is the role of crypto and the 21 million worth of donations Ukraine got through crypto. Again, absolutely legendary technology, which is being put in Vagmi, which is being put in use right now as we see. Another thing, YouTube stopped monetization for all creators in Russia. So basically the whole creator economy, every creator, every YouTuber in Russia lost their livelihood just because YouTube doesn't like what the country and the government is doing.
Exactly. Fuck you, YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm on your platform.
I think so did a similar thing happened on Instagram as well.
Yeah, they banned,
Instagram banned Russians
so
only.
the influencers are crying their shit out.
So if you're a Instagrammer or YouTuber and you feel like this censorship and deplatforming, if Twitter deplatforms Trump, it's okay.
Yeah.
you might lose your job one day.
Yeah, exactly. South Delhi Lavanya, we're coming for you. Bitch, nasty bitch.
Yeah. So this is why we are crying out loud for decentralization
And liberalization
yeah.
of, the
Yeah.
content, at
Yeah.
least. It needs to be there. Also, if we talk about cryptocurrency in the picture, a lot of refugees had crypto wallets.
Yeah.
And no money was in use. The ruble is falling. That's the Russian ruble. The currency in Ukraine has stopped. But the only money that was left with some of crypto holders was just their crypto
Yeah, exactly.
in their wallets.
Exactly. We saw that tweet also.
Tweet also.
The guy, he was not in Ukraine
Yeah.
and he's like, banks are closed because it's a war.
War.
Right.
No
So-
liquidity.
Yeah.
Okay.
So imagine you're in Europe and India has a war. So the banks are closed. SBI is anyway closed. So
Lunch ke baad aana just got
war
real.
starts when you enter SBI.
Yeah.
So now all your money is basically not your money. So what do you have for you? What do you have for yourself?
Nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So you need this. These times are proof that this technology is not just
Validation is there
air,
for this
yeah.
technology.
this. We need this in the world. Same happened in Canada.
Exactly.
Same happened when Trudeau fucked that
Yeah. When Trudeau.
truckers thing.
Still Trudeau is in hiding. But did he?
Fidel Castro's son.
Fucking hilarious, bro.
Have you not seen that? Apparently, Justin Trudeau's. We'll end this after this. I think we're going way off course. But Justin Trudeau's mom
Yeah.
apparently met Fidel Castro a couple of times, and
Why?
if you look at the photos, Trudeau has a uncanny resemblance with Fidel Castro.
Fucking hilarious.
So this is a disputed claim. This is a joke right now.
Yeah.
But
Have you seen that meme? मेरे दो बाप हैं.
क्या?
मेरे दो बाप हैं.
मेरे दो बाप मेरे दो बाप
crazy times.
Crazy times. We just hope that 2022 gets better from here. I mean, war should stop no matter what your move is, whether strategical, whether any advantage above anything else. War should not be there.
Yeah.
Peace is the ideal option.
Love is the answer.
Love is the answer. Ganja in my system, ganja in my brain. Marijuana take away my stress and pain.
What the fuck?
I had to do this.
I disown. If you want to be a co-host.
Looking for a new co-host as well.
Yeah.
Alright, so with that, let's just hope, because that's the only thing we can
Let's
do.
just hope we don't have a pandemic or a war
or a
or
wave 4.
or a
Fourth
riot
wave.
to discuss here. We can just talk about Parle-G and
Yeah.
biscuits
Yeah.
for once.
Tank ka season aa gaya, Rasna ka season aa gaya.
Yeah, for once.
For once. Let's just talk about that ad, that son used to suck
Yeah.
kids
I
out.
need some good thing to
To talk.
discuss here.
And we at Slippery Slopes hope that one day
Yeah.
we shall overcome all this mess and we shall definitely discuss
Yeah.
about positive things.
People of Ukraine,
Hearts with you.
you have balls made of iron,
Yeah.
and we commend you right
I
now.
mean,
we take our hats off.
Mr. Vladimir Putin, you also have balls of iron, and I believe
We
that.
knew that.
Yeah.
अभी यूक्रेन का अभी जस्ट पता लगा.
यूक्रेन का अभी पता लगा है. चढ़ी उतार. तेरा भी आयरन का.
With that information we knew.
Yeah.
ना अभी यूक्रेन का अभी वो इनके पास भी है. Yeah.
So with that, let's just sign off for today, and we hope you learned something good,
Yeah.
new, knowledgeable. Stay updated, stick to news, see what's happening all around you,
Yeah.
and pray for good, because we have an entire year ahead of us. Exciting for
That
you.
decade.
Exciting for you.
If we stay alive.
Yeah. And exciting for Slippery Slopes podcast as well. See you next Sunday with a brand new episode. Signing off, Aayush Chawla.
And Paarug City. And we're